Hi everyone, this is Amina. Hope you all are doing well. So today what we're doing is that we're reading a book together, and after we read that book, we're going to do a small follow-up activity which will be a poster making activity. So I hope you enjoy. So the name of the book is Amazing Grace. It's written by Mary Hoffman, and it's a great book with some wonderful lessons. So do pay attention, and I hope you all learned something. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her, or told to her, or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out, and she would always give herself the most exciting part. Grace went into the battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the seven seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha sitting by the shining big sea water, and Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts by herself. She set out to seek her fortune, with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join, when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hands, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, "Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet in sparkling lights." "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey, but first I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer it said, "Stunning new Juliet." "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance. So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You were fantastic, whispered Natalie. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, I feel as if I could fly all the way home. You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. So that's the end of the story. Now that you've heard the story, looked at all the pictures, and read it, I want you to think about what you learned from the story. What were some of the main lessons in it? Did you like Grace? Did you like her Nana? Did you like her friends? Was there something that upset you? Have there been any examples in your own life where you have viewed something similar? So take a few minutes and think about it. And once you're done thinking, I want you to start designing a poster. So what I did was that I took a recycled paper. So this is good on one side paper because I wanted to be environmentally friendly and I didn't have a fancy chart paper, but that's okay. We can use a good on one side paper. And then I designed this poster. So you can see in the middle, I've written Amazing Grace, which is the name of the book. And around it, I have written some things that I learned from the book. So for example, Grace's character taught me that I should never give up on my dreams. Something else that I learned was that I should always work hard and I should also support my friends. So these are some of the lessons that I learned. I just used pencil crayons and a good on one side paper to design my poster. You can see I tried to make a fancy border around as well, so you can do that. But you don't have to tell me what you learned. You can tell me if there are some real life examples that you want to talk about. You can even draw your favorite character. You can talk about your favorite character. So feel free to be creative, experiment, and let's design a poster about the book. Once you're done with the poster, we ask you to email us your poster. So just take a photo or ask your parents to take a photo and send it to us at sfhreclife@gmail.com. When you send us your submissions, we would love to display your work so we can see not only your work, but all the other children who are working on their posters. If you have any questions, please let us know, and I hope you enjoyed this poster making activity. Bye!